Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Social Media Manager Bible podcast. And I'm recording this now on YouTube and for the podcast. So if you're like listening, watching me on YouTube, you're like, what's this girl talking about? I wrote a book. It's called like the Social Media Manager Bible, and it teaches you everything you need to know about being a social media manager or everything you need to know as a social media manager in this age and time. And I wrote all the lessons I have, how I say, learned in the past 8 years as a social media manager. And I thought to start a series or a podcast about it. This podcast is not about, how I say, what is in the book. If you want to find out what is in the book, you have to buy it. But it is about being there for social media managers like myself. Because when I started, there was nobody to be there for me. There was no guide. And being a social media manager in Nigeria is not really an easy fit. I'm already talking too much, but let's go into what I have for today's episode. Yeah, if you're watching this, you see me with my iPad. I tried, that part of where you cram what you want to say, having like a script in front of you. I use glasses, so it's not easy to see things for myself. So I'm just going to carry my iPad if you're watching on YouTube. But if you're listening in audio, just know that this is how things are going to be. So today we're going to talk about what it takes to become a social media manager in 2023. We're going to talk about the main things that you need to know when you want to start out. First of all, it is very important that you have a strong understanding of the various social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. Do you know, I just found out about Twitch this year? Like, don't shoot me, but I just found out about Twitch that there's a platform for gamers. And I'm like, really? Like, I've not explored it yet, but true, there's like Twitch. And I know that there's Discord. If you don't know that there's a platform like called Discord, maybe you should go check it out. There's so many social media platforms that actually exist, apart from the normal ones that we know that you're not aware of. And you can be a pro at that. You need to have an understanding of what that platform actually entails. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to use those platforms for business purposes, because being a social media manager means you're going to be managing for businesses, managing for brands, managing for companies and everything. So you want to be able to use those platforms for business purposes, not just for personal purposes. To gain an understanding of these platforms, I recommend that you start by setting up personal accounts on each of them. So if you want to be a social media manager for Facebook, for TikTok, because you don't have to be a social media manager for all these platforms. I start by recommending that you set up your own personal account on these platforms. Then you try your hand and start experimenting with the different features that actually exist on this platform. So you can look at online courses and tutorials offered by this platform, because trust me, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if you go to their blogs, they actually have websites. They actually have blogs, website tutorials that actually teaches you how to use these platforms. Even apps, like every app that you know that actually exists actually have instructional guides on how to use their social media platforms or their websites. So the second thing you need to have is a background in marketing or communications. And I'm not saying you have to go to school to study marketing or communications. For somebody like me, I studied computer science and engineering. So having a solid understanding of marketing concepts such as maybe target audience, marketing strategies, branding, it can help you create effective social media campaigns. To digress a little bit, in my book, I didn't write about social media campaigns, but it talks about how to interpret a client's brief, how to deal with imposter syndromes, how to create a strategy, how to create an Instagram strategy for client, because I know that a lot of people actually struggle with things like that. So you want to make sure that you have an understanding about it. If you don't have a background in marketing and communication, because not everybody goes to school for it, you can gain this knowledge by taking online courses and classes. I have a free course on where to start out as a social media manager. You can check the description either on the podcast or on YouTube. I also have a paid course called the Social Media Management Foundations. You can check it out if you're trying to find your footing. It gives you where to start from as a social media manager. And you can also check out Coursera, Udemy, EDX, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. All these places, they have their courses. You can check out Hootsuite. A lot of these blogs, they have courses that you can take. Google has courses, so you can check them out if you're confused on where to start from. Okay. It is very, very important that you have excellent communication skills, because you will be interacting with, either you're interacting with the owners of the company or the people that employed you, or you're interacting with their customers or their target audience. So you need to have excellent communication skills, because as a social media manager, you'll be responsible for creating and curating content, engaging with customers and followers, monitoring and analyzing data. And to improve your communication skills, you can start by writing regularly. You can write a blog, a journal, a social media post, captions. You need to like improve by writing. Start keeping a journal, because it will help you improve your writing. There are online courses in copywriting, content writing, storytelling, and this can help you in your written communication. It's very, very important that you always like practice. If you don't practice, you're not going to like be a pro at that thing. Okay. Another important skill to have is creativity. I don't know if they teach people how to be creative, but I know that everybody has like a creative streak in them. So I would say creativity allows you to come up with new and interesting, engaging ideas. And to improve your creativity, you can try different methods such as brainstorming, mind mapping, and idea generation techniques. Like, I brainstorm a lot, I won't even lie to you. And this will help you like improve your creativity. So the fifth thing you want to also note if you're starting out as a social media manager is you want to pay attention to detail, and you want to have organizational skills. Attention to detail and organizational skills are very crucial in the life of a social media manager, as you would often have to like manage multiple social media accounts and campaigns all at once. And these skills can be improved by using tools. I use tools a lot, and there's so many tools that exist. There's Notion, there's Trello, there's Asana, there's Airtable, there's Hootsuite, there's Buffer, there's Meta Business Suite. Like, I use tools a lot. You want to use tools to keep track of the different projects and campaigns that you're currently running. Finally, it's very important that you stay up to date with the latest trends, features, and best practices in social media. Like, you need to be up to date. You need to stay up to date. And the only way you can stay up to date is by subscribing to newsletters, because you're not working in the companies where, how would I say it, companies that these trends or these things are popping up. So you need to follow industry experts or subscribe to newsletters. Follow industry experts like myself, because I give you like the latest updates on what is happening in social media in the present week. Or you can follow and subscribe to a lot of newsletters like Later, Social Media Today, the Greek newsletter for social media managers, link in bio, and so many. You can also turn on Google Trends for different topics that you are interested in. Finally, you need to have a flair for social media if you want to be a social media manager in this age and time. If you're not passionate about social media, if you are not sure you can spend close to 12 to 18 hours on social media every day, you have no business being a social media manager. Because trust me, you need to actually be passionate about these platforms to actually manage it for other people. Because if you don't enjoy being on social media, managing it for other people will be stressful, and it becomes like a chore, and you're not going to enjoy your job. I enjoy my job most times. I love creating content. I love hopping on the latest trends. I love scrolling on social media. I love liking posts. I love commenting. I love sharing posts. I love appearing on my stories. You need to be passionate about being on social media. And if you're not passionate about it, if you don't have a flair for it, maybe you should consider a career in something else and not social media. We've come to the end of today and the first episode of the Social Media Manager Bible podcast. And you can tell I'm pretty nervous, and I will get into it as time goes on. It was kind of like fast forward. I am going to be very transparent about my journey as a social media manager mentor, content creator on this podcast. I have a podcast with my friend also, if you're creative. It's called Beyond the Metrics Podcast. You know, we all make mistakes, and most times we're so used to curated or documented, how will I say, podcasts where they cut out things. But this podcast, what you see is what you get. I hope you found this episode really helpful. If you're on YouTube and you're new here, you probably just stumbled on my page, I would say please subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell so you get notified when I drop a new episode or drop a new video. And if you are listening to me on any of the podcast platforms, I would say you should follow this podcast, and also give me a rating if you actually found this episode useful and helpful. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Don't forget to follow on the podcast. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.